Hey guys, welcome to the Modern Wealth Podcast, where we aim to empower, enrich and evolve your lives. Every week we have absolutely amazing guests who will be sharing their insights and expert information on how you can elevate your lives financially, physically, mentally, right? And today we have a very special guest. This person I've known for many years.
Yes.
We've worked together, we've traveled together, we've seen many different things, and I've seen her entire growth. She's seen mine. Right, it's a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Chloe. She's a lot more Facebook famous than me. Right? You probably see her face everywhere. Right, so again, really famous girl with regards to teaching about investing, and she also has over 200,000 followers on TikTok as well. Currently, right now, running her own company, right, educating people on finances and how they can truly elevate themselves and get to the next level, right? So again, I'm very happy to invite Chloe. Welcome, Chloe.
Thank you so much, Rash. And I think I have to firstly thank you for inviting me. I think this is an amazing space that you're setting up, the kind of work that you have been producing all these years. I really respect that. So thanks.
Thank you. It's always about growing, right? Every year it's like, how can we grow, how can we get better?
Exactly.
Right? So I think that's the philosophy that got us to where we are today, right? But anyways, Chloe, so many things I want to ask you, right? But guys, I don't know if you all know this, but Chloe's story is incredibly inspiring. Chloe is, sorry if I just need to talk about you a bit.
Sure,
right?
no
Seriously,
problem.
I really love Chloe, and the reason why is because she's somebody who is seriously extremely talented, right? We basically spoke around the world teaching about investing together. We've had many of the same mentors, and she's this one person in the company who has this X factor, right? Like literally, nobody can do what she does. She's extremely talented. She does English proficiently, Mandarin proficiently, Japanese proficiently, Cantonese
Cantonese too,
as well proficiently. She could be that one person who could do multiple different markets and be able to speak proficiently everywhere. She built the business in Japan. She was helping out with Chinese. Who can be like Chloe? The answer is nobody, right? So, I watch in awe with regards to what she does. And, not only is she a brilliant teacher, she is an inspiration to women out there. She, inspired so many people, right, with her journey. I saw how she built everything up. And wow, man, absolutely crazy. And again, she came from very humble backgrounds, right? Seriously, super humble backgrounds, working in a normal job, 9 to 5. Dude, why am I telling a story? Chloe, if you let me go on, I'll just tell a whole story, right? But Chloe, come, please share with the guys, today they see Arigato investor, wow, so famous, whatever, right? But they don't know your background, right? What's your backstory? How do you get started with this entire thing?
So I think firstly, thanks for really summarizing my story in a short 1 to 2 minutes.
Sure.
I used to be a journalist, and I think just like many other people out there, I was constantly filled with financial worries. My dad got retrenched when I graduated from university. So that was also the year that I kind of felt that as an elder, daughter in the entire family, I only have one young sister and she's 9 years younger. So I felt that my burden is there. I gotta make sure I take good care of my family. So that's how I started learning about investing. And I really consider myself to be very fortunate to be even given opportunity to, Sean gave me the opportunity to speak, to coach, to teach people, and that's how really get started on the entire journey. Yeah.
So how many years were you a journalist before you made the move to learn to invest and stuff?
I was, before I joined journalism, I was in one of the jewelry company for 1 year. And that was 2014 to 15. And then 2015, I started my journalism career. And I think that year, 2015, was also the year that I started learning about investing as well. Yeah.
So what was the first step to learning? What was the first thing that you learned about that really shaped your investment thinking and all that today?
At that time, I learned about, actually at first with trading first.
Okay.
Then I realized that it's really not something that's suitable for me.
Okay.
I felt I was very emotional and all this. So I learned about value investing.
Okay.
So value investing really gave me that, I think, that shift in terms of mindset that I should be buying businesses instead of stocks. But I think even though this whole concept sounds really simple and easy to understand, but practicing it is what truly makes it very difficult.
Absolutely.
So I also struggle as well, right? Even though I know how powerful value investing is, but I struggle as an investor to truly cultivate that patience and that mindset to want to own business. So it took me time. Yeah, I think even until today, I am constantly trying to cultivate, once again, that long-term thinking, that patience, and buying and holding on to great businesses.
Buying and holding on to great business. This is so important. Triggers so many memories, right? But yes, very, very important. And I think you're such a, you're still very young yourself. I think it's such a important thing to have learned early on in our lives, right? Like you were in your 20s when you actually learned about this, and you really, really understood the power of investing in, Mary Buffett, who is our mentor,
Yes.
right? She always talks about this non-stop, right? Like, they're not pieces of paper, they're actual companies, actual people running them. What are they doing? How they're adding value to society and stuff like that. To really understand them. Most importantly, actually understanding how to read financial statements.
Yep.
To actually know. So that is your main philosophy, lah.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how you built your portfolio throughout the years.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I think over the years, I also grew increasingly more. I think sometimes, like investing in individual stocks sounds really good. Like that's how you get your faster return,
Returns,
right?
yeah.
But it's really not as easy as we think.
Yep.
So that is when I came out by my own, when I started my own company, I really want to teach something that it's everybody can do, like really no-brainer. And that's why I fall back to the basic, which is ETF. And that is what Buffett, he has been advising people as well, right? If you don't have the time, you don't have the energy or the passion to go through so many financial reports, just buy that index.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the audience who doesn't know what ETF is, can you just do a quick summary of what are ETFs and what are some ETFs that you would recommend for people to look at?
Sure. So for myself, I still focus on the US stock market because in the long run, the US has so many great companies like things that you're familiar with, your Apple, your Microsoft, Amazon, all these are great businesses. So instead of buying individual businesses, which you don't know whether will they go wrong, then if you buy the ETF, which is called exchange traded fund, you buy a basket of all these great companies. So the one that is most famous is S&P 500, top 500 companies in the US. So when you buy this ticker called SPY, you literally own the entire basket of 500 top companies in the world. And even though some of them may go down, they will be automatically kicked out from the index. And the next 501 will go in, right? Then become the top 500 again. So it's constantly like replenishing. It's like we need to replenish our blood.
Yes.
So ETF, it's replenishing by itself, and it's like so no-brainer to invest because long-term S&P 500 gives investor about 10% return without you doing anything. And I think it's very decent. And if you combine with certain things like options, you increase your return further.
Absolutely, absolutely. Options is another thing, another level altogether, right? But let's not get too complicated. Besides SPY, which is your S&P 500, what are some of the ETFs that or sector ETFs or some things that you look into?
One of the sector that I'm very bullish on is semiconductor.
Semiconductors.
Because literally the world right now is built on semiconductor. We cannot imagine us having no chips, right? So of course the valuation of semiconductor right now does seems a little bit high, but I felt that this is one sector that I am bullish in the long run. So that ETF that I personally invest in is SMH, right? And another country that I am bullish, which has been beaten down severely for the past 5 years, is, you make a guess?
China.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So I felt that, I actually grew up in China. So I can really understand Chinese in terms of their culture. They are eager to constantly want to improve their life, they want to succeed. So I don't believe that the Chinese economy is going to be not growing, right? So if we think about the long-term perspective, once again, if the economy grows, the company make more money, in the long run, the stock market will continue to be prosperous. So that's why I also invest in China ETF for a long time. Yeah.
So I want to ask you this question. I heard the same statement 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But since then, it hasn't been doing very well, right?
Yes.
So what is different right now? Is it because valuations are better? Is it because something's going to be different in China? What do you think?
I absolutely agree that the valuation is a lot better, right? Because In fact, China is still down about 30 to 40% as compared to 5 years ago, right? So I think back then with Jack Ma getting more and more famous, he really managed to bring up the stock market, the sentiment towards investing in China. But with the whole saga and everything, the government has really beaten down those tech companies and in general, the confidence of investors in the China market. But that's what Buffett said, right? Like even though Buffett, he said during this recent AGM, he said that China is not within his circle of competence, so he doesn't want to comment much. But the principle of value investing is always like, is it undervalued enough? If it's cheap enough, the margin of safety is high enough, then it's very hard to lose money, right? So when you look at the valuation of China today, I felt that the margin of safety is so high that as long as you do your proper portfolio allocation, you'll be fine. And of course, that kind of investing horizon needs to be like 10 years and above, right? Yeah, so that's how you are able to, I think,
so you're
make
looking
profits
at you're
safely.
looking at China as a longer term.
Yes,
play.
at a long-term game.
Okay. FXI?
FXI, another ETF that KWEB as well, which is more on the China technology, right? So these are some of the ETFs that I'm personally buying also.
Interesting, very, very nice, fantastic. China ETFs. And you mentioned this one thing which is very interesting. So Chloe just came back from America where she was actually attending the
Berkshire
AGM, right?
yes.
Berkshire's AGM. Not your first time, second, third time?
This is the second time.
Second time,
yeah.
right? So she attended, and this was very, very monumental this year because
Yes.
unfortunately it was the first year without Charlie Munger himself, right? So, the first time ever that he passed on this year, right? So I'm very unfortunate, but he lived a ripe old age. So tell us some insights that you got from the AGM. I want to hear. Tell us your biggest learnings, your biggest lessons. I know it was cold.
It's actually not so cold.
Not so
it's
cold?
Cooling. It's like this kind of temperature
Are
right
you sure?
now.
Serious?
Yeah. It's about 13 degrees Celsius. It's fine.
It wasn't freezing?
It wasn't freezing.
Usually during AGM it's always freezing. Yeah?
Really? I don't remember. Okay, maybe you queue in the early morning. That is the only time that,
It's
because you
freezing.
literally want to go there and get the front seats, then you queue for like 1 hour plus, then it will be freezing.
Okay.
But most of the time it's fine.
Okay.
So I think what I enjoy Berkshire trips so much is not just about seeing Buffett and inside that stadium to listen to him, because the whole idea is you can listen to the same thing online, right? Why bother going there?
Yep.
But the moment you get in there, I think there's something magical about Omaha that it really gives you that peace of mind as an investor.
Okay.
And the people that you're going to network with, that all the 40,000 investors, right, from all over the world they go, many of them are professional investors who really live and breathe the Buffett principles. And many of them actually hold their own small conference or talks. So that's how you literally can get to talk to all those fund managers who manages billions of dollars, and you can ask them questions. And the people that you get to network with, I think that is very, very valuable, that you cannot find it online, right? Because online you can only see Buffett. But when you go there, not only get to see Buffett and learn from him directly, but it's all the additional things that you can do and all the great people that you get to learn from. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crazy. As in again, your network and the people they're exposed to really help.
Exactly.
So what do you learn? Who are some people that you met and stuff?
I managed to, last year when I went, I managed to meet William Green, the author of Richer, Wiser, Happier.
Yes.
And because of that, right, I managed to connect with him on LinkedIn. And that's how I managed to interview him for my channel. So
It's a really good book, by the way.
Yeah, it's a
Richer,
super
Wiser,
good,
Happier. Maybe you
Happier.
can put a picture right
Yes.
here. Right? But check out the book. It's a very, very good book. I really learned a lot from the book as well.
that's right. It's not just about investing, but about life as well. So over time, I felt that the kind of books that I find a lot of joy reading, it's not just hardcore investing books, but about life principles. So recently, I'm reading another book by Vitally. He's another portfolio manager. And So in the Game. I like it so much as well. And this year, he also had a talk, and I managed to connect with him, took picture together with him as well. And another author that I look up a lot to is Garden Bay, The Joys of Compounding.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that book a lot too.
Yep.
And yeah, I also managed to interview him for my YouTube channel. So
Very nice.
really, really nice too. They're so humble. They're so successful, but at the same time, they're so humble. And you just can't help but feel grounded yourself as well when you go there.
Amazing, amazing. Chloe, you know, I wanna let's talk about something different right now, right? So over the years, you've also, you know, you're a really, really creative person. You know, you built this people who, you know, are following you, who love you, right? Who this entire massive channel that you created and stuff. So what are some of the creative processes that help you to actually get there, right? If you can actually share.
So one of the I think misconception towards creation is people always think that, oh, I need to be very original, right? Then people will like my content. But the more that we actually study great creators or even artists, they borrow ideas from each other. So one of the, I think, easiest way and in fact the most effective way of creating content is you look at what other content out there that's already working. Are you able to so-called use the same principles that they do, or maybe the style, if it's a role play style, can you do a role play style? If there's certain things that certain words that the person say that trigger your interest as an audience, and this video is going so viral, that means people like this kind of content. Why not just do something similar? You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
I saw that you a lot earlier on in your TikTok as I was following. I follow you a lot, by the way. I like all your posts. If you don't notice, very big fan. There was a lot of mirroring this lawyer. What's her name?
Erica, she is so good.
She's very, very good. Right? So you did many of the role plays of Erica, right? Which was very, very good because her channel is very informative, right? You really learn a lot as well. And you kind of mirrored the similar thing with your own ideas and your own style with regards to investing, right? And that's how. So what was your first breakthrough in social media?
My first breakthrough, it's at first when I started doing TikTok, I kind of get stuck there for a while. I actually had 2 TikTok accounts. The first
was it YouTube first or TikTok? Because you were doing,
I was doing YouTube all along. Even until today, I'm still doing YouTube.
Yes.
But YouTube is a very long game, that I haven't really cracked the code. But for TikTok, when I started, that time, I was more like for fun. So I did like a personal channel. I did all those sorts of travel, eating, dancing, all this, which didn't grow at all. Right? And then until I actually went to NAS Daily Summit in Dubai, and Arigato Philosophy was one of the speakers there. And she actually shared with us the principles, how her videos got so viral. So right after that, I started to implement exactly what she said. And I tweak the content to, like what you say, investing and options. And that's how it took off. So within like 1 month, from 100 followers, I grew, I think, to 10K. And then the next month, 20K. The next month, 40K. So it really grew like exponentially.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's all organic.
Wow.
Yeah. So today I have about 200K. So I just felt that I was considered also very lucky because I think at that time very few people are producing a lot of content on TikTok yet.
Really?
So my content kind of get pushed out more. But right now, I think it's getting a little bit more complicated and more competitive. So might not be as fast as it used to be, but I still think that TikTok is still the best platform as compared to other social media channels out there.
To grow your following.
Yes, exactly.
Content, reach and everything.
Yes.
Crazy. Again, you know, it's incredible how somebody without using paid money can get such a reach and such a following and everything, right? It's incredible. And that's something that I always admire Chloe for, right? Like, you know, being able to really, but you know, what are some characteristics that you need to be able to, you know, do it, right? Like, you know, you're a very vibrant person, like, you know, somebody, what do you need to have or do to be able to succeed at that level?
I think firstly, I enjoy being in front of camera. I think that definitely gives me an advantage. Some people really don't like it. They like to be faceless and all this. So they have to go and figure out a way to, you know, don't show face. And still, there are creators who are very successful in that way. But for myself and for people who actually enjoy and want to build a personal branding, then that fuel to, that you know that, hey, I want to always put that work out there. That passion will help when it comes to content creation. And then, of course, it's the discipline of pushing out content consistently, right? Because that's, we all know that is a key to success.
Consistency.
In anything. Yeah, so I think that discipline, it's a requirement to be successful in content creation and in, of course, anything in life as well.
Absolutely, very, very important, right? You have to have the discipline, the consistency and everything. Amazing, right? So again, the ability for you to want to show up, stand in front, you know, it helps you a lot.
It helps.
It helps a lot for sure. You know, so let's talk about, you know, something which I really want to dive deeper into. So people see the success, people see the following and whatever else, but you know, they might not know of the pains that you've been through, right? Like, you know, there's many challenges you've been through, whether it's financially, whether it's you know, being an online person. It's not easy, right? Like, you know, when people know you and then they throw shade on you, right? All these different challenges, right? How like, what are some, like, okay, let's start with maybe a financial setback. Maybe when you lost money, for example. Can you share with us a story when that happened to you, and how do you actually come back from that challenge?
So I remember when I first started options trading at that time, not long ago, I was very greedy in terms of I really want to make money fast, right? And I think that's what a lot of people also have the same mindset, that we want to make money fast through investing. So that's how I actually did something that was really wrong in terms of, I didn't quite understand that option strategy, but I just kind of felt that, hey, you know, when the market goes down, there's a way to make money. So I actually buy a lot of put option to want to hedge against the market. And indeed, the market did went down for a while, and it really made a lot of money, right? Like I made like from 100K to 200K, that was fantastic. But that was also when it kind of tested me in terms of my greed. And I was so greedy that I thought that, hey, the market can continue to go down, I can just continue to make more money, right? And I didn't close the position, and end up the market go up, because 90% of the time the market goes up. And I lost everything, right? And it actually, like literally just cut off 50% of my portfolio was gone. So that period of time, it was, I think, a very painful lesson for me, because that wasn't just my money, but part of my parents' money was also inside. And that was when I also realized that if I don't know something well enough, I should never try to test my luck, because we can always run out of luck, right? And that is also when I start to really shift more towards investing, because I just know that I don't have the emotional discipline to really take profits or even cut losses when it comes to trading.
So you feel like in trading you need to have a lot of emotional discipline to take the losses, and to take your profits as well, right?
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Is that true? Because I know that you are very good at trading, like crypto and all this. Is it true?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Like, you know, you need to know when to, you know, bite the bullet. You need to know when to cut your losses. You can't be having the hope and pray kind of mentality, right? So it's very different, right? It's a different sport altogether, right? It's a very different sport, and you need to have that emotional discipline as well, which is very true. So, you know, which is also the reason why, you know, for me, in structuring a portfolio, it's always about you use a majority of the portion which is with investing in mind, and a smaller portion which you can use to trade, right? It's very simple, right? You got to set that base up first. When you have that base up, then the remaining percentage you can do your daily trading, your, you know, a 1 month DTE, call option, whatever you want to do, sure, right? Can you make money, quick money? Yeah, sure. But that's not your main pot. And even if that goes to zero, goes to nuts, it doesn't matter, it's okay, right? Why? Because you have that main, you know, stream that is actually set up in your ETFs, for example, right? In your proper investing things that will grow over the long term. I think that's how you properly structure a holistic, proper portfolio, right? Which is very important. Yeah. So again, so what was the learning lessons? No more trading, more investing. No more put options, only calls. I don't know.
I think it's more like understanding myself more as my character as an investor, because I think there's so many instruments out there, right? And every instrument, there will be so many people who are successful. But at the same time, if you just think that, oh, because other people are good at it, doesn't mean that you can be good at it. It may not be. It's good to test out. It's good to really try out yourself to see whether is it suitable for you. If it's not, then it's also good to know that, hey, I tried it. Time for me to move on and really find something that is suitable for me. So that's why after years of trial and error, eventually I felt that actually ETF is the most no-brainer and it's most suitable for me. Yeah, not everybody likes it, but I like it.
Yes, something that it's very important to hear, right? So again, when Chloe says she has tried everything, trust me, she has tried everything. Right? Like, you know, we've been together, she has tried everything, right? Whether it be trading, you know, in terms of business-wise, in terms of trying to hustle. Like, Chloe is a hustler, right, guys? Like, you know, for real.
So are you.
Sure, right? But Chloe is, really by the way, you're our second female guest
Oh,
on our
wow.
podcast show, right?
Thank
so
you.
very, very happy to have you here. Right? But anyways, yeah, so when Chloe says she has tried everything, she really truly has, right? She has, gone through the ups, the downs, the hits, the misses, whatever else, and she's figured out what has worked for her, what hasn't, right?
Yep.
So, for her, she's saying that, again, ETFs wise is
Yes.
something that is great, something that she loves,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, you should really check it out. How can they find out more information about your ETF teachings and stuff?
They can go to my website, arigatoinvestor.com, or
Arigato
just join my
Investor.
Telegram channel. But right now, there's just so many scammers out
Oh,
there, like
shit.
impersonating. I think you
Yes.
probably experience that a lot as well.
Yes.
So just be careful, guys.
Yes.
Like if anyone actually PM you, that is definitely not us.
Yes.
So make sure you follow the correct channel and talk to the correct person.
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very important. Hey, tell us about Arigato Investor,
Yeah.
right? So where did that come from? Tell us
Okay.
about that story.
So it was actually inspired by this author. His name is Ken Honda.
Who you just met recently?
Yes, I just met recently and managed to interview him as well. And he actually wrote this book called Arigato Money in Japanese, right? And then he later translated
Happy
this
Money.
book, Happy Money. So that concept actually comes from him. And in fact, Sean was the one who introduced me about this concept. And that's when I start to look into the philosophy of Arigato Money, I felt it was exactly what I want, right? Like that peace, that
What is the concept?
the concept is basically you are grateful for what you have. You enjoy receiving happy money because you just believe that you'll be financially well off, and you believe in also giving others as well. So it's receiving and giving at the same time. So there's a lot of Zen element inside, which I felt that this is a very, very beautiful brand and a beautiful concept when it comes to money. So that's why I incorporated to become Arigato Investor.
Arigato Investor.
Yeah, which is
amazing.
also my mission is to help people to become more zen, more grateful towards what they have, and also able to attract happy money into their life as well.
Absolutely, happy money. I think it's a very, very beautiful concept. It's a great book, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? Very, very good concept, right? Again, the whole idea behind being grateful for what you have. And when you're grateful for the small, the much will come.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
But if you're not grateful for the small, the much will not come.
Yes.
Right? So, very, very important and beautiful concept, right? So again, Arigato Investor. Right? I love it. Why? Because it just, literally, right, your name is grateful. Right?
It's thank you
It's
money.
thank you, right?
Yeah.
It's arigato, thank you so much. What a beautiful concept. And how did these Japanese roots come about, Chloe?
Back then, when I was studying university, I always liked to watch anime. And I was thinking, hey, since during university time, you have the opportunity to go exchange, why not go to a place that I can get to learn a new language? That's what I thought, right? So then, since I love Japanese anime so much, then I was thinking, then why not I go to Japan and see whether I can learn the language, and eventually I can watch anime without watching that subtitles.
Yeah.
So that was that whole idea of I actually went to Japan for half a year. And of course, before that, I already did some foundation in terms of Japanese language. And that half a year really immersed myself in this very beautiful culture. And I really think that Japanese people, they are very, very nice. They're polite. And I think my experience of staying in my homestay home, the parents, I call them okasan or tosan, they really take care of me, and I have such a great time there. And every time I think about Japan, it's a beautiful memory. And eventually later on, when we actually, together with Mary Buffett, we brought Buffett Online School to Japan, all the people there are so nice and so respectful. They really appreciate what we do.
Teaching,
Yeah, so I always have affinity towards this country.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. It speaks perfect Japanese, by the way, right? So anyways, Chloe, thank you so much for sharing. Guys, we're going to take a short break right now, right? Again, I know you guys have learned so much. I've got so many insights and, learnings from Chloe sharing, right? We're going to take a short intermission, and right after this, we're going to have an amazing guest coming to actually join us on this show. All right, welcome back to part 2 of our podcast with the Arigato investor, Chloe Lin. But right now we have a very, very special panelist who's joining us, none other than Jeannie, right? So Jeannie is joining us as well to, dig the brains of Chloe a little bit, to ask her some questions, right? So Jeannie, you want to start off? I think Jeannie has a very, very important question to ask Chloe.
So been always curious because I know that, in your previous organization, you are really very successful. I think many people, especially women, we really look up upon you, you're becoming a speaker, a coach. And I think it came out as a bit of a shock to some of us. Like, why did you leave, that organization or the job that I think you really love? And tell us what went into your mind at that time and what was the lesson that you have learned, and how are you going to, what is your next level or next step from now onwards?
I think I am forever grateful to my ex-boss, Sean, right? He has really trained me, given me the kind of skill set and the kind of, I think, confidence to be able to do what I am doing today. And I think that thought of leaving a comfortable job, like what you say, like I'm doing something that I'm pretty good at the same time, there's really good pay as well, that kind of made me feel very uncertain for the 1 year. I've been actually thinking about the decision of should I quit or not for 1 year before I finally decided to take the jump. Because I asked myself, right, what's the worst that can happen? Right, the worst that can happen is I don't make it in my own business, and I basically fall back to employment again, right? But the best that can happen is, well, if I can make it, I can build a more meaningful brand in my own way and build a community that is truly meaningful for me. And most importantly, I think that because I've been investing all these years, I have this backup that I know regardless whether my business cannot make it or not, well, my investment portfolio is always there to generate income for me. So that really gives me that peace of mind. So I think that investing is very important because you can always fall back on, right? And once you've built that up, you have this courage to say, hey, now I can really have that confidence that I can do anything I want. I want to test it out first. So I would say for any ladies, start investing, right? Start investing. And then after that, also give yourself that leeway to test out things, right? I didn't come up with the courage that, oh, I want to quit my job immediately. I basically used years to build up content and be good at what I'm doing before I take the jump. So it takes time as well.
Absolutely, so important. Because seriously, some people are thinking about leaving the jobs, right? People right here who are sick and tired, they want a child, they want to do their own thing and all that. But there's so many considerations, right? I got family, I got commitments, I got a house to pay off and all that stuff, right? So for sure you had that, but again, you build it up for years. So to a point where you're like, okay, cool, I think I'm okay, right? But what about a person who's like really got all these commitments, but I really want to leave? Wow, damn jialat.
I think there are quite a lot of people out there that because of the expenses, the responsibility that they have, they just cannot afford to do it. I will feel that the best way is, firstly, really understand what you are good at, what you are passionate about, and is it possible that you can start creating content on it? Because I felt that being a content creator, that unlocked unlimited possibilities that I didn't foresee myself having in the past. But because I run my TikTok channel, I run my YouTube channel, and all these brings in the additional streams of income, additional possibilities that I would have never imagined. So, and of course, this person must be passionate about creating content as well. But of course, there are ways to create content that don't require face. At the end of the day, it's really that intention to want to test out something first and see whether what that brings you before you finally say, hey, if that eventually can take off, well, then you can consider taking that jump. Yeah.
Jeannie, you went through this yourself. Yeah. Fairly recent. So you want to share your story, right? How did you take the leap of faith to say, you know what, let me move on? You want to share?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting journey because I think sometime last year around this time, I actually attended. So I've always been in corporate all my life, so 20 over years, and in my corporate job I've always been traveling. I'm a mother of 3, so I'm very busy. I've always had a lot of commitment. But sometimes at night before I go to bed, I would think, is this all that is to my life? And sometimes I just numb myself with being busy. Fortunately or unfortunately, COVID happened. I stopped traveling. I had a little bit more time with myself. And I started to try to find out, maybe there's more to life than this, you know. Of course, being a mother is important, you know, being working, feeding the family is important. And I started to look for ways how I can do something that I love. And I remembered when I was young, I really loved like even doing public speaking. My dream was actually to be a newscaster. I really adored Oprah Winfrey when I was growing up. And so I signed up. So last year, I think in March last year, I signed up for this course. It's about speaking. And I don't know, was it a coincidence or whatever, you know, Rash was just sitting beside me. So that's how I got to know about Rash. And I did share about, you know, my struggle. I'm working now, I want to do this, but I don't really know how, I don't really have the time. And he showed me a vehicle, which is in investing and also trading. And fast forward, end of last year, I decided to, like what you said, you have a skill set, something that you can fall back on a little bit. And I tendered resignation. And one thing Rash was very reassuring. I think it was a joke, but he said, you know, if you really don't know what to do, you just come and trade with me every day. So okay, I'll just take that offer. So that's how my journey started. And personally for me, is having that skill set. It took a lot of courage, really a lot of courage. And I know there are people out there because there are many people who reach out to me and ask me, where did you find that courage? And I felt that it's really about putting yourself out a little bit, just a little bit every day. And then also finding a really good mentor, someone you can resonate with, and also the community that would love to help you. So, yeah.
I think it's really beautiful that, you know, sometimes I think life just brings us to where we need to be, the people that you get to, you know, sitting next to each other, and that unlocks possibilities. So I think one of the very key important to really have a change in life is to be open-minded about it, right? Because Jeannie, she is open-minded to learn. Then she went to the speaking class. And because she's open-minded to actually embark on the investing journey, that's how you started to coach Jeannie, right? So I think that being open-mindedness, that is one of the very important traits to unlock different possibilities in life. Yeah.
So true, so true. You know, if you're not open to possibilities, nothing can happen, right?
Yeah.
Right, so important. So anyways, let's talk about women in investing, right? Like, you know, it was very interesting because, you know, the many years that I traveled with Mary, it's always the only female in the room. I always a joke here. I was like, you know, Mary, you see all these guys here all flexing their whatever, right? And then you are the only rose among the thorns, right? And Mary Buffett being, you know, the person she is, right? And you know, kind of lonely, right? So again, a lot of perceptions, right? Oh, investing is a man's thing. Investing is something that a guy should handle. I'm a woman, maybe not, and whatever else. So what is your message to women in investing, right? Should women learn how to invest? Can they do it? Is it something that is possible for them?
I think maybe in the past, these misconceptions can be more rampant, but I think nowadays more and more ladies are actually getting so savvy that I think there is there's no need to think that, oh wow, you have to be very good at maths, because I personally don't think that I'm very good at maths, but you can still do investing that is simple enough, that is suitable for you. So I think at the end of the day, it's about suitability, right? So for example, for Jeannie, she is good at trading, right? She learns from you, and I think she definitely have that emotion stability. So I think for trading, there's no need to look at maths as well. So what, if I'm not wrong, okay? So I think once again, it's being open-minded to even test that out first and see for yourself whether do you think, be it stock investing, options investing, crypto investing, or even property investing is suitable, right? There's just so many vehicles out there. And I think that as a lady, we have advantage. Why? Because just like what Rash said, most of the time right now, they are still the guys, right, in the room. But the moment, right, you are a lady, you go in there, and for example, recently I went to Berkshire AGM and I asked questions, right, to those fund managers. They remember you immediately. And because of that, they can unlock a lot more opportunities that guys don't enjoy, right? So why not take advantage of this unfair advantage that we lady actually have?
Was it a sausage fest? No, in Berkshire? Do you know what sausage fest is?
Sausage fest? I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Most of the time, they're still guys. Right?
Okay, most in Berkshire as well.
Like,
okay.
I think 80 to 90%.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. 80-90%. Hey, you're the rose among the thorns. You know,
Yes.
why not? Fantastic. Anything?
Yeah, since you talk about Berkshire Hathaway's gathering, because just now you mentioned you get to meet all these fund managers, and then you actually eventually like sort of become friends, and then you interview them on the on your channel. And you mentioned one word just now. You mentioned that they are very grounded.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit more about that? And is it related to like the mindset or the spirituality? Of course, investing sometimes is quite a left brain kind of thing. But if you can share a little bit more why you say they are grounded in that sense, I'm very curious.
In terms of groundedness, I'm talking about that feeling that they give us, that we know that investing, the better that you get, the game become harder, right? That the top 1%, they are really good at what they do. And in order to constantly beat the market, I don't think it's something very, very easy. But at the same time, there are investors who acknowledge that. And for example, William Green, when I asked him, what do you invest in? He said actually he does a lot of index fund investing, which is ETF. Then of course, buying some of the funds that he trusts those fund managers because they have been good friends for many years. So I realized that increasingly as I interview very famous authors who can get connected with all those very famous investors, they are also not looking for crazy kind of return. They are okay and happy with what they have. And they know that even though the return might not be fantastic, but in the long run, compounding works the magic, right? So for me, I think my my biggest lesson for Berkshire last year was actually humility. That I don't need to try to do anything fancy, but if I just hold on to, for example, buying a simple index over time, I can still compound my wealth, right? Why is it not okay to be okay? When I don't need to try to beat the market all the time. But if the market continue to go up together because the economy continue to improve and all this, my wealth will over time increase, right? So I think come to terms with myself that I don't try to beat market all the time because I just know that I cannot. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, very, very interesting. Chloe, I have one question to ask, which is very, very important, right? So the question very simply is this, right? So in your journey of investing and training so many of these students, so you mentioned that you met all these guys, these top level authors, these people, but you've also interacted with many retail investors, right? And you've seen some of them make a lot of money, some of them who have lost everything and gone to zero, in your own personal one-to-one mentorship course and all that. I'm sure you've seen this entire spectrum, right? What are some characteristics of people who really succeed? And what are the characteristics of people who completely fail and go to zero?
I think people who completely fail are people who don't do portfolio allocation, like what you said. They really want to go big or go home. And
they go home.
and end up they going home, right? Because they took the wrong bet. So, but it's always a bit contradictory because if you look at some of the very famous investors, including Charlie Munger, he is also very concentrated in his portfolio, right? He is also that kind of person who kind of go big and all go home, and he go big. So I think at the end of the day, it's the humility that do you really know what you're doing? And if you don't know, then don't try to pretend that you know, right? And I think for Munger, even though he has such a concentrated portfolio, he really reads so deeply into every single company that he invests. To him, it's not fun. I mean, to him, it's not like he buy them for fun. He really buy them with the right mindset and the right time horizon as well. So firstly, it's humility. And secondly, I think it's really about, once again, the long-term mindedness. Like if we are talking about investing, you really have to think long-term, right? However, if you're trading, then that it's definitely requires a different level of skill set. Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it's understanding about yourself, see whether are you truly good at it. If you're not good at it, then really find an instrument that is suitable for you.
Awesome, fantastic, amazing. Chloe, one final thing which I want to just clarify, right, which is this. So again, you mentioned about really finding out what is truly important to you, right? So I want to find out, where is Arigato Investor going to be in 5 years? What is your vision of what you want to do to be aligned with who you are? Right now, it's a new phase. 2024 is crazy new, right?
Yeah.
But by 2030, right? Like, what do you want to build? What do you want to achieve?
Frankly, I have not think deep into this question.
Okay.
Thanks for asking me.
Sure.
I do want to build a bigger brand in terms of really just inspiring people to, like, for example, a lot of ladies, they haven't get started, right? I want to inspire more ladies and even just normal beginners to start investing the right way and don't need to try to do so many fancy things in order to get great returns, because sometimes it's okay to have okay return, right? As long as you are willing to just be in the game long enough, right? And then secondly, I also want to, have my own family in the next 5 years. And I think like you having a kid has made you such a better person.
Thank you.
Much more grounded, much more stable, and the kind of positive energy that you give right now is just way, way more as compared to a few years ago. So I felt that I also want to enter the stage of life that I also want to become a better person by having a child eventually.
Okay.
So looking forward to that as well.
Hey, let it be. Awesome, fantastic. So, fantastic. Guys, again, make sure you do follow Chloe, the right Chloe, please. Follow the right Chloe. Jeannie, any last questions for Chloe?
So yeah, I just want to anchor onto what Chloe said, and also from Rash, is that I think we're always ever evolving. We may not know what is the end goal, but as long as we take that first step, second step, and slowly, the path will open up.
Yes.
So that's just what I learned from listening to both of you, great minds. Yeah.
That's what we learn from you as well. Yeah, we learn the same thing from you.
So true, so true. Anyways, guys, Chloe, thank you so much for coming on board. I really, truly appreciate you. I think it's been very, very insightful, yes?
Yeah.
Right? Thank you so much, guys. And again, Chloe has an amazing YouTube channel. You all got to go and check it out. Right? She has interviews with some of the best, brightest minds on there as well. Her TikTok is very entertaining. You all can go and like her videos, right? All around, please go and follow Chloe, Arigato Investor, right? And yes, make sure you all follow and subscribe to her. Again, thank you very much for joining us on this podcast. We make sure you all like, make sure you all comment down below with regards to some of your biggest lessons, and make sure you all click on subscribe to our channel. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.